Pittsburgh. They found their tag team championship. And quite frankly, they're great representatives of the brand. They're great representatives of the movement. They're great representatives of what professional wrestling is, and that is for everyone.
Sure, and that is what Pittsburgh has become a home to. I asked Irvin and Andy earlier, I said, what brought you to Pittsburgh? And they talked about a little bit the opportunities here, but also the community that they've felt. And as CREEPS, it stands for can't really exist either politically or socially. They feel outsiders at times, but have started to feel welcome here in Pittsburgh. And that is what 880 Wrestling has been about since its inception. And I think more and more, as we've seen what Pittsburgh has become, with this beautiful skyline, the pink in the air, I think it's a great reflection on the city and the company.
Yeah, but, okay, look, let's talk about it. Acceptance,
Sure.
Inclusivity, wrestling for everyone, that's great. But at the end of the day, we've got two teams that are going to square off against each other, both looking to punch each other in the mouth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Both looking to prove a point.
Yeah, and that's what's great about 880 Wrestling is it is a accepted group for everyone, but it is so much about the matriarchy wants to reign up supreme, but it is a meritocracy in here. So it is about what you can do in the ring, and so far the CREEPS have been very, very successful, but I don't think they have faced anyone like the Matriarchy, who is in a hot streak here at 880 Wrestling as a tag team.
Well, hot streak, but athleticism too. I mean,
Yes.
I've gone to war with Zeke Mercer, and I can tell you that as far as strikes are concerned, Zeke might have one of the hardest kicks that I've ever had laid across my chest in professional wrestling.
A lot of concern tonight with who the crowd likes better. A lot of concern.
And this could be, again, like we saw in the previous match, this could lead to an unfair advantage that one of the teams gains when they turn their back on you.
Yeah, and that's, unfortunately, I think the CREEPS are, just CREEPS, not the CREEPS. CREEPS are basking in it a little too much. Been a little bit shocked. Oh, good by Ripley to look over their shoulder to make sure they were not going to get attacked from behind. Smart.
That's what they were waiting for. That's what they were waiting for. Now it's time to regroup.
And now referee George Ross is saying 1 in, 1 out. We got to get this started.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be Paris Sahara starting out. She is a competitor who, again, has really found herself with the Matriarchy and has broken out with the tutelage of Zeke Mercer and Amanda, our resident princess at 880 Wrestling, which isn't an office you're elected to.
No, but it's one that she has sat in quite well, I must say.
Yeah.
And I think, Marcus, a common thread that you're seeing amongst individuals tonight or teams is that, sometimes you don't have it all figured out, but once you find, that person.
Sorry, roll up early, 2 count only. Ripley trying to get this man as quickly as possible, it looks like.
Once you find that person or that manager or that spark, it can be monumental for your career.
Sure.
And Paris Sahara is a perfect example of someone, all the talent in the world,
All right,
not a lot of direction.
2, kick out again. It looks like Ripley took that roll up by Paris Sahara in that victory a little personally and trying to get that early.
Well, and Marcus, you're not getting paid by the hour here.
No.
Right? You're going to retain those titles if you win them in the first 3 seconds or if you win them in 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Irving West getting in there with Zeke Mercer. Zeke, who we've both known since Zeke was a young wrestler, about 18 years old, they broke in and trained with some of the hardest training environments in Pittsburgh and came out meaner and tougher than anyone thought.
And also, Zeke, I remember early in Zeke's career when he was the Real Shoot Wrestling Heavyweight champion, being put in tough multi-person matches against top competitors. I mean, you're talking about a guy who I once saw survive a match with Chris LaRusso,
Sure.
Andrew Palace, and Jason Kincaid.
Yeah, and that's at a very, very young age. Zeke Mercer has had trial by fire, but little catch as catch can, something we haven't seen a lot tonight on the World Series of Wrestling, some actual wrestling.
We've seen a lot of multi-person matches. We've seen a lot of high-flying maneuvers here tonight,
We saw
Marcus.
a last man standing match that was devastating.
I don't think there was one thing close to a wrist lock in that match.
And I got to say, for Zeke Mercer, who is a veteran in this match, saying that West maybe grabbed Zeke's hair, but Zeke brings a veteran leadership. You know, as I said, for a lot of the older generations of wrestlers, we knew Zeke when they were very, very young. But now, Zeke has become a veteran in this business.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch these competitors grow up before your eyes. And, you know, one thing I will say about Zeke Mercer, what they did early in their career, which, you know, showed their grit, their toughness, their fortitude to work, they've taken a couple shortcuts recently.
Sure, and this is not a shortcut. This hammerlock with a bridge, and Zeke Mercer nowhere near the ropes, but West not able to hold that bridge for very long. But that damage done, now front face lock. Gonna walk over to the corner, make a tag to Ripley, who comes in, shot to the back, that elbow going right back to that arm, ringing it up. Irish whip to Mercer, drop down, duck, back elbow, but Mercer doesn't go down. Arm drag, drop kick, combination offense cover, and Mercer able to get out. Paris Sahara was thinking about getting in there to break that up.
That was a nice sequence of tag team wrestling. You can see why Creep is the full queer tag team champions.
Now Mercer trying to throw some punches, but can't do anything while their foot is being controlled by Andy Ripley. Now down, face first goes Mercer.
It seems like Creeps are toying with the Matriarchy at this point.
Well, I did not see, but I think the Princess Amanda just got involved, and Andy Ripley is complaining about what was that, and now Mercer, big shot.
Sometimes that's all you need is a shot to the jaw.
Yeah, look, hey, it's the shot you don't see coming that hurts the most. And Zeke Mercer, now this is where Zeke really shines. As I said, Zeke Mercer fought through the dungeons of Pittsburgh, and Zeke was always seen as, you know, and I don't want to say that I wasn't guilty of it. I was kind of guilty at the time. You know, too young, too small, doesn't take it seriously. People, you know, tried to put Zeke through the paces, and through all of that, Zeke just came back, you know, meaner and harsher and a harder opponent to deal with.
Well, that's what the Matriarchy stands for, Marcus. Yep. People that are overlooked, that are just sick of it. And, you know, I think Zeke Mercer and Paris Sahara, with the tutelage of Amanda, have put together a strategy that goes to show, look, we can't be ignored anymore. Yep. You're not going to second guess us or doubt us. And we're going to show you just how hard we can hit and just how tough we are.
Now in the corner, count of 4, almost a disqualification, which is the last thing the Matriarchy wants, because they need to win these titles. And that's the thing, is this is on the line for me if they can win these tag team titles. Obviously, Game 6, it's all over, go home. But as well, you can't win these titles in a disqualification. You got to pin Creeps. Big side slam as Paris Sahara taking control. 2 and no.
And, you know, it would mean a lot to the Black Hand Society tonight, Marcus, not to put words in your mouth, but if you could win the World Series and win it in a fashion of winning tag team titles.
Well, you think about winning in 6 games, too. How exciting that would be. A big win. That's Michael Jordan stuff. Not even needing the 7th game. You know, that's what we're rooting for here. That's total domination. Now, Paris Sahara in full control of Andy Ripley and just maneuvering Ripley around. Full face lock, those shots, maybe going for a suplex. Big suplex, float over, mount pin. Only a 2. You gotta think you can put a little more weight on those shoulders.
Well, and this is where I think, you know, Paris and Zeke sometimes get away from the mission.
Yeah.
Which is, look, we want to show you we're not to be taken lightly. We want to show you need to take us seriously. But, you know, they can be a little flashy at times.
Sure.
Too flashy.
Who doesn't want a little flash? Who doesn't want to throw some business cards out to the crowd? You know, a little flash, little, you know, it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, but when you're trying to win tag team titles, you got to try to win the match.
Sure. 2 knees, and now Paris to the outside, covered by Mercer. Only a 2 count. And Ripley trying to reach out, but cannot get there, and just right back to the rear chin lock, and Zeke Mercer, just full control, just grinding down on Andy Ripley.
One thing I will tell you about Zeke Mercer, too, and this is something you talked about in the dungeons of West Virginia and Pittsburgh learning. If your opponent kicks out, you stay on top of them, and you just grind and grind and grind until they lose the will to continue to compete.
There is a reason that Pittsburgh has that reputation of, you know, 3 yards in a cloud. That's what we bring, and Zeke Mercer represents it with just that grinding offense. Smart move. Keeps Ripley away from the corner, full control, and now dragging them back, making the tag to Paris Sahara, and just keeping full control. Big leg drop.
And speaking of Pittsburgh, Marcus, we should remind everyone watching at home that we are on the rooftop of the historic Penn Brewery here in Pittsburgh's north side. You can see the city skyline in the back. This is home to the 880 World Series tonight as Creep
Got a
goes
backslide,
for
cover.
1, 2.
Kick
out.
Only 2. And Ripley, that might have been the last gasp for Andy Ripley, as they are just in desperate need to tag Irving West, who has not been in this match for a very long time.
And Marcus, let's just talk real quick. You know, we talked about Creeps relocating to Pittsburgh because of the inclusivity. They found a home. You know, in the second World Series that 880 holds, right here for the first time on the rooftop of the historic Penn Brewery, for them to be defending the full queer tag team championships, it really goes to show you how far wrestling as a sport and as a social movement has come.
Yeah, I mean, we can't talk about it enough of what has happened in Pittsburgh, and especially the 880. It's why the Black Hand Society came here. It's because we see the potential in this place. We see what has happened. We see that this has become a legacy that we want to be a part of. And we're talking about full queer. Look at the moonshot there by Paris Sahara.
I can't think of anything fuller or queer than Black Hand Society.
Right. Oh, okay. That's not fair.
Well, listen.
That's not fair.
I don't think of inclusivity when I hear Black Hand Society. I think of Raw.
We'll see tonight.
Okay.
We'll see tonight. That's all I'm going to say. But I will say this. Paris Sahara, full control. I don't know how much longer Andy Ripley can hold on.
I don't think much. I mean, they have been taking it to Andy Ripley this entire time.
Another cover. This might be it right now. Another kick out.
This is like only the second time in the match, Marcus, that Andy has made it past the halfway point.
Yeah, it just continuously, and now back grinding down. And as I said, I think Paris has really found herself inside this matriarchy. And I think this is what Zeke Mercer really brought to the table with someone like Paris Sahara, which is that grind them down, you know? Yeah. And I've said this before, Paris Sahara, as beautiful as she is, as ostentatious as she can be, it has one of the meanest streaks you'll ever see in 880 wrestling. Wait a minute, tag! Irving West tagged in and goes low on Zeke Mercer. Paris Sahara from behind. West able to go to the ropes, holds on. Paris falls over Zeke Mercer. And Zeke is totally confused. What happened to their own partner? Now West comes in, ducks off the ropes, and again goes to the knee. Mercer goes face first in the mat. Step up, stomp. That might be it. No, only a 2 count.
And all the weight coming down of Irving West onto Zeke Mercer's rib cage here in this cold night, that is not going to feel good, Marcus.
And now bringing West over to the corner. Zeke Mercer able to shove West off. Wait a minute. Throwing West to the apron and just kicking West all the way to the floor. And now fighting with Andy Ripley, but I got to say, I'm not sure why. Just continue to taunt Ripley. This is some sort of strategy, but wait a minute. Amanda's got that something over her head, but the referee caught her. I don't even know what that is.
I think it's a burn book, Marcus.
Is it a burn book?
I think that's the burn book.
And Amanda's been kicked out. Much to the chagrin of the matriarchy, they've lost the architect of this group. Jeez. And now Zeke Mercer is screaming. This is shaking everyone to the core. I don't like that decision by referee George Ross at all.
Well, you got to make that decision, Marcus. She's interfering with the match.
She didn't do anything. Oh, back fist. Zeke Mercer took one right to the nose.
Paris gets kicked to the face for their trouble. Now we got Creep in
Duck
the ring.
through, back elbow, neck breaker. Mercer's up, DDT.
Oh, and that's got to be it. Count to 1,000 here, Marcus.
No, not this way.
1, 2, 3.
No! Well, it's game 7.
And we're all tied up, and just like that.
Are your winners, and still the full queer Harvey Milkins
7, and Walls, I got.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait.